Welcome, you guys, to another episode of the Off Market Operator Podcast. And today's episode, I'm diving deep into a question that I got in our weekly community call this week that I thought everyone could get a lot of benefit from, and I hope you guys do. So without further ado, let's get right into the show. People don't fail at real estate because they suck. They fail because there's too many ways to succeed. That's why I suggest you focus on the most important skill in all of real estate, which is finding deals. I'm Ruud-Johnson, and in this podcast, I share the exact steps I've used to source 400 deals by age 24. This will allow you to do three things: control your deal flow, make unlimited income, and build your empire as an off-market operator. This episode, you guys, is based around a question that I got in my coaching group this week on our community call. Part of Off Market Operator, we have weekly community calls every Thursday for about an hour or two, where I'm sharing wins and strategies in our companies to find more deals, but also I do a lot of Q&A. This question came from my man Jericho, and Jericho's a young kid out of Tacoma, Washington, who's crushing it and is going to have a big career in real estate. And he asked me, he's scaling his company, doing more deals, and he asked me a question of, is it time now to hire a sales guy? And the question I gave him is the question I'm going to share with you guys. The answer I gave him is the answer I'm going to share with you guys here on this podcast today, and what I want you guys to take into mind. And I've talked about this a lot on my episode, but I'm a true believer in the delegation ladder, or the hiring ladder. And I believe every successful business and it keeps this ladder in mind as they hire and scale. And the bottom of this ladder is what's called admin. And admin tasks are things like skip tracing, list pulling, KPI management, data management, CRM management, any repeatable, boring admin task. That's the first thing any responsible business owner should hire out. After admin, you have fulfillment. And what fulfillment is the process of fulfilling your product. So in real estate, that's transaction coordination, that's walkthroughs and photos and paperwork and working with sellers and tenants and buyers and getting a deal to the finish line. After transactions, you have, which is fulfillment, you have marketing. And the reason marketing comes before sales is because if you don't have a consistent lead pipeline, your sales guys are not going to stay on board with you long term. That's the reality. That is an absolute fact. And so a lot of companies go wrong and they hire out their sales positions before they even hire out their marketing positions, and they never fill their pipeline, and they have constant turnover of salespeople. And that's what that's where my man was headed in this situation. And Jericho, if you're listening, I'm sure you don't mind me sharing your story. And so I told Jericho, I said, hey, you're going to make the same mistake that a lot of investors make that sets them back years, is they skip the step on the hiring ladder of making sure their marketing's in place, either hiring agencies or hiring a marketing manager, VA, or hiring or assigning that role to someone who focuses on just bringing enough leads in the door. Because every sales rep needs at least 10 leads a day in a real estate company to have a successful pipeline and stay busy and work a full days of work. And so what I told them is, hey, man, you're about to make the mistake that so many people make. You're about to jump from level one, from level 2 to level 4, and you're going to skip level 3. And anyone that does that, they end up shooting themselves in the foot. Because what you're going to have happen is you're going to onboard the sales guy. You're going to promise him the world, the moon, and the stars, but you're still wearing other hats. You're still doing dispositions. You're still doing, you're still running the company. You're still doing the accounting. You're still doing a lot of stuff to keep the company together. And so then who's focusing on marketing while you have this salesperson in who's expecting constant opportunities? And then who's going to be managing them? And who's going to be training them? And who's going to be assisting them and available for them? And so what I want to urge and have you guys really focus on from today's episode is working your way up through this admin ladder. And I'm going to give you a real life, this hiring ladder, and I'm going to give you a real life example of this. If I was starting again from zero, and let's say I'm out there hustling again, I talk about it a lot on the show, but going from a hustler to an operator to an architect. And let's say I'm a hustler, I'm out there busting my ass. I'm chasing down deals, I'm cold calling, I'm doing driving for dollars, door hangers, bandit signs, door knocking, and I get my first deal. My first deal is a $25,000 deal. What most people do, you guys, they go buy a watch and they go buy a used BMW and they go buy a random course. And I'm going to skip a lot of pain for you guys here right now in this video. Instead of going and doing a bunch of random stuff with your newfound $25,000, what you should be doing is starting to work on buying back your time. And so you need to look at your calendar and look at stuff that's non-revenue generating. What's revenue generating in this business, you guys, is talking to sellers and talking to buyers. 80% sellers, 20% buyers. And so the first thing you should be doing at that level is working your way up the hiring ladder by looking at your calendar. Right away, you guys, If you're on pace to make $50,000 or more from your business that year, which you probably are if you're already doing $25,000 deal, you can already fulfill the admin spot. So right away at 25,000, I can go get a virtual assistant off Upwork or Fiverr or hire an agency, and they can do my list pulling, my skip tracing, my CRM management, my KPI management, my back end repetitive work. They can take care of all that stuff, and I can focus again more of my time now on talking to sellers and talking to buyers. Same thing. Boom! I get my next $25,000 check a month or two later. I go, awesome. Now I have this admin VA. They're doing all the repetitive work. Now I need to hire a fulfillment position. Okay. That might not be a TC yet. That might be someone that steps in and helps making sure contracts go out, assignment agreements happen, sellers, buyers, everyone's communicated with. That doesn't need to be someone full time. That can be a part time TC, and a lot of people, you guys, will do this for $500 per transaction. And a ton of people in my inner circle and in my program, I'll have them hire a part time TC for $300 to $500 a month, and that part time TC will take care of the fulfillment for them. Okay, so now I'm off and I get it. My next check could be 50 grand, could be 30 grand, could be 20 grand. And now I'm looking, okay, I've done 5 deals. I'm on pace to do 6 figures this year. How do I get marketing off my plate? I want to be talking to buyers and talking to sellers, but I'm always worried about leads coming in, sending out texts, cold calling myself, all this kind of stuff. And what I would do is I'd start buying back my time with cold calling. I'd go and I hired a cold call agency like easybuttonleads.com, or I'd start cold calling myself, or I'd have someone on my team do it. I'd start, I'd outsource my text to a VA. I'd go and hire an agency for pay per click, and if I'm going to go that route, everything like that. That's what I'd be focused on. Say a couple more deals roll by, and now I have the admin seat filled, the fulfillment seat filled, marketing seat filled. Say we're 6 to 12 months into our business now, and this is how quickly you can go if you're diligent and you're focused. And I'm skipping a lot of the nuanced steps of this, but overall, I'm trying to hit on the highest points that move the needle for you. Okay, so let's say you get through marketing. Now you're year in. You have someone in each of those spots. You have consistent lead flow coming in. You have consistent deal flow. Now you look at, hey, now I want to start handing off my talking to sellers and talking to buyers. In this company specifically, you guys, when you look at like a normal org chart, a lot of companies will have their sales positions managed by one person. So if a company has multiple sales functions, selling to vendors and selling to a client, they'll have it managed by the same person. In this company, I don't recommend that. I recommend having a separate sales manager and disposition manager. So if you're looking for your first sales hire, that's going to be the person that ends up managing that job as well. And I'm not going to talk about hiring in this episode. I've made other episodes on that, and I'll make more in the future. I'm just talking about overall knowing, is it the right time to hire? Um, so for the sales position, you guys, if you have 10 leads or more coming in per day, and that's on autopilot, then you can hire that first sales role. Okay, but if you do not have those leads yet, that first sales role is going to churn, and you're going to create havoc for yourself because you're going to take the eye off the ball yourself. They're going to suck. They're going to churn. They're going to have no pipeline, or no contracts, no deals, no revenue for a few months. And that's the cycle, the vicious cycle. If people get them in, that burns them out or makes them quit. Is they get the basics down, they know how to do deals, but they go and hire half-assed. They hire a half-assed salesperson without enough leads, and they don't train them and manage them. Those people churn and they don't get deals done, and they're in that seat for 2 months while you're focusing on other things. Okay, they churn, they've gotten no deals. Now you don't, now again, the pipeline takes 3 months to stack. Now you go 5 months without deals. You have to fire your team below you. You're starting from scratch again. And so you want to make sure you're very methodical about how you go through this process. And when you do hire the salesperson, you want to do it in a way that's very, very, very thought out. So make sure you have those leads. Make sure you've gone through my other podcasts, so you've taken our course, and you know how to build out a playbook, you know how to build out SOPs, you know how to manage, you know how to recruit, train, and hire. Once you have that person, then you can move the ladder again to dispositions. And disposition should be the last thing you hire in the company because, again, it's 20% of what you should be doing, and it's the least intensive in terms of the 2 sales positions. Once you find your disposition manager, and again, if you do not have 2 to 3 deals per month at least being contracted by your sales guy, you cannot hire a disposition manager. Same thing is going to happen. You're going to hire a disposition manager. They're not going to get enough reps under their belt. They're going to suck. They're going to quit. And you're going to be left not having deals sold or not maximizing your deals. So once your sales team is doing at least 2 to 3 deals per month consistently, then you can hire a disposition manager, and then you can focus on being a leader. And then you can start building the people that build the company. Then you can start building the machine that builds the machine. And that's what I want for all of you guys listening to this. I don't want you guys to have a high paying job. I want you to have a business that builds a business, a machine that builds the machine. I want you to have people that build more people and build the company and build the machine. That is my goal for all of you guys. And that's how you become a business owner and how you go from hustler to operator to architect. Thank you guys for hanging out and sticking around and listening to me and hanging out with me for the past 12 minutes or so. Today's episode, shorter one, you guys, but I wanted to give a break from all the guest episodes I have coming to you guys, which are awesome as well. But this is very strategic on, is it time to hire for you or not? It might not be, it might be, but there's no way to know unless you go through the delegation ladder and you're very focused and conscious of how you're hiring and building your company. So as always, you guys, please share on your story, a DM. I do read your DMs. I try to implement what you guys give me on the show. A DM means the world to share. If you're on Apple or Spotify, wherever you're listening to this, subscribe, leave a rating. That really helps us get the content out to people. And as always, I'm here to take your guys' suggestions and implement them. And if you guys looking to quickly scale your business, head over to offmarketoperator.com. And we've scaled over 200 real estate companies and people in the past 2 years. Besides that, you guys, as always, you are only one deal away.